What is up, everyone? We are live at 5 here at Broadway.com. It is Friday.
Friday. Love Friday.
God, it's Friday. January 18th. And I'm Paul Wontor.
And I'm Ryan Lee Guttenberg.
And over there is Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
And not one, but two fantastic stars.
Yes.
Who's here today? They're doing Gutenberg the musical
At Green Room 42.
which is a well-loved off-Broadway smash that they're bringing back and making a thing out of again.
That's right.
And who's here?
Conte Thornton.
And Alex Prakken.
Yes.
Bobby Conte Thornton, who is
Star
in
if Beale Street could talk.
star of the Oscar buzz-worthy
Absolutely.
movie.
Yes.
If Beale Street could talk, and Gutenberg the musical. We're going to talk to them, but first, today's top 5.
A stage favorite is heading across the pond.
I was very surprised by this news. I didn't realize Matthew Broderick is making his West End debut.
That's the part you were surprised
I was surprised
about?
that it was like that it had taken this long.
You thought he did the producers then,
I
didn't
thought,
you?
I thought he did something over there. But no, he will be making his West End debut in Kenneth Lonergan's The Starry Messenger, which is a show he did off-Broadway in 2009.
He grew up with Kenneth Lonergan.
That's
They're
right.
Childhood friends, and
Absolutely.
he wrote this play for him a long time ago.
Yeah, and he like pops up in Manchester by the Sea.
He pops up.
He pops up just for a little bit.
Sometimes, some nights in the Waverly Gallery, he'll just pop
He'll
in.
just pop in.
You never know. He just
Say hello to Elaine May and then walk right
it's like
off.
Cher at the Cher show.
Absolutely. So he'll be playing Mark Williams in The Starry Messenger, directed by Sam Yates, who did Glengarry Glen Ross, of course. Begins previews May 16th, opens on May 29th at the Wyndham's Theater. He will be joined by Oscar nominee and stage alum Elizabeth McGovern, who you probably know from Downton Abbey or Time in the Conways
Or
on
from
Broadway.
things in the 80s
Or from things in the 80s.
that I grew up with.
Absolutely. If you're not familiar with The Starry Messenger, it is about the story of Mark Williams, an astronomer at New York City's planetarium who feels a closer connection to the infinite starry sky than to his job or even his wife, Anne. Oh, sad. When a catastrophic event rips through their lives, Mark is forced to reevaluate his life, his faith, and his place in the universe.
Drama.
It will play a limited engagement through August 10th. Additional casting will be revealed at a later date.
I think it's interesting that he's still interested in this play.
Absolutely. I mean, Kenneth Lonergan is also, he's having like a also
He's
right
also
now.
Oscar buzzworthy.
Absolutely.
It's like Bobby Conte
Yeah, well,
Thornton
he's an
of
Oscar
this
winner.
Moment. Okay, what else?
This Broadway-bound London hit is getting a cast recording.
Hey.
You just saw that.
I just saw Tina Cole in the Tina Turner musical when I was in
Official
London.
title.
It is fantastic. Adrienne Warren is killing it. Like,
Of course
right
she
now,
is.
she's
Yeah.
literally on stage killing it.
Yeah.
Like, right now, she's probably going to the emergency room and asking for help. It's a whole thing.
Oh my God, spoiler.
Anyway,
Spoiler.
she is amazing in this
I
show.
have no doubt.
And I remember when I went to see it, I was like, I said this morning when this news came out, I said I was going to go buy the cast album. And then I was like, they didn't have one. And I thought maybe,
Sold
they
out.
sold out. But apparently they never announced one. But it's been playing for like a while.
It's been there for yeah.
So anyway, they're making a cast album. Don't worry. It is currently in the West End. It's coming to Broadway in the fall. They have not announced who will be starring in Tina calling the Tina Turner musical on Broadway.
We have an idea.
But I have a suggestion. Adrienne Warren,
Yeah,
currently
that
killing
sounds
it
good.
in the
That
West
sounds right.
End.
Yeah.
Just saying. Can't wait to hear this album.
And casting is set for this New York premiere.
It is the New York premiere of Mara Nelson Greenberg's dark comedy, Do You Feel Anger?
I do.
Yes.
I certainly have. Yeah. It follows this woman named Sophia who is hired as an empathy coach at a debt collection agency. If there was anywhere for somebody to have empathy,
Is that a real thing? Do
collection.
people get hired to do that?
I don't know. I've never heard of this.
we'll find
I've never
out.
been
Kyle was
contacted by
nodding.
debt
Kyle's
collection
seen
agencies.
it.
Oh,
Did you
Kyle
ever-
knows all about debt
Kyle knows
collection.
a lot.
That was his former
My
career.
goodness.
Kyle's behind the board.
Here are the people that will be bringing this to life on stage for the New York premiere. Tiffany Valerin, Tom Alino, Ugo Chukwu, Megan Hill, and Greg Keller will be starring in the show. Off-Broadway, directed by Margot Bordelon. It will begin performances on March 13th. It will open on March 31st at the Vineyard Theater. Additional casting will be announced soon and will play a limited engagement through April 28th.
Okay.
New York premiere. New work.
And we're over the moon about this news.
I'm doing all the music news. So I don't know if you know, they're doing Rent live.
What?
Did you know that?
On Fox. What? On January 27th. It's a live TV event over at Fox.
Yeah.
Actually, Caitlin was on the set.
I was.
You were-
Yeah.
When I was in London, you were in LA.
I was in LA. We were all over the world.
Very tri-coastal.
My goodness.
Anyway, they are releasing a soundtrack. Again, not the most shocking news. I'm getting all the music news. Tina and Brent. Anyway, they
exciting.
recorded it, obviously, and they will
course,
release
yeah.
it on February 1st. Oh, that's interesting. So it's a few days after.
It's after.
I mean, that makes sense. See them do it live and then be
feel
like,
the-
oh, I
no,
wish I
I
had
feel
a
like
copy of
Hairspray
that.
was already available.
Oh,
when-
no, I think you're right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right?
So we
I'm
could have
pretty sure.
listened to it. Maybe.
We gotta wait.
Anyway, whatever. It's okay, Sony Masterworks. You do your thing. You be you. But you can go on right now and hear Seasons of Love.
Yes. The acapella version, I
And
believe.
there's like a little video on our site. And of course, the cast: Jordan Fisher, Vanessa Hudgens, Tinashe.
Tinashe.
The first two I know.
Tina Shea.
And now we're going to talk about some
gonna
people.
know
And I know
Tinashe.
Valentina because I watched RuPaul's Drag
Yeah.
Race,
Right.
which is on tonight, by the way. Hopefully
Yeah.
Valentina sticks around.
Yeah.
Who else?
Mario.
Kirstie Clemens.
Yeah.
Brandon Victor Dixon. I
Yeah.
know
Of
him.
Yeah.
Brennan Hunt, Mario, and Valentina, as I mentioned. It's going to be good
Yeah.
because it's Rent.
And it's Fox.
Something's coming, and you can be a part of it.
That's right. The upcoming Broadway revival of West Side Story, directed by Ivo Van Hove, is coming this way in December, but they are still casting some of the roles, some major roles. They still need Maria, Anita, and Bernardo. So they are holding an open casting call in Los Angeles. You can send your headshot, resume, a video to WSS Revival
Oh my God, we're getting really
Casting
specific.
at gmail.com. You only
Gmail?
have at gmail.com.
They got a Gmail like
Oh,
that.
wait, is this a real thing?
We got a press
We're
release.
promoting a Gmail email?
Gmail.
It's really me.
Here's
Surprise.
the thing: you only have like this weekend to get that stuff in, though. Everything has to be in by January 22nd.
What?
If
This
you want to
is
be,
like an
yeah,
emergency.
come on,
Yeah,
that's right.
do it.
So this, of course, is not that. We also found out was it this week that Rachel Ziegler, Ariana DeBose,
And Maria got it from an open call. So
From an open
the
call
movie,
for
the
the
upcoming
movie.
Spielberg movie,
Right.
got her role this
open
way.
calls can work.
I'm picturing Ivo Van Hove creating the Gmail account, like trying different names. Like, I would love that. I guess it's really him. So what are you supposed to send them?
So, I mean, you can send a headshot, resume, and a video of
A
yourself
nice
auditioning.
note.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Rachel Ziegler did, and she got it.
And she
You
got
know,
it.
She's Maria now.
Okay.
So with Spielberg. So if you want to play any of those parts here on Broadway, here's your chance, guys.
Please be able to dance.
Yes, that's pretty important. Ask Ariana DeBose. Yeah. And that's it for me.
All right,
It's
Ryan.
time to talk about Gutenberg.
Are you get ready for the snowstorm? We're gonna.
I know.
have
I'm just putting myself away and not leaving. Yeah.
putting
So-
yourself away.
in my apartment. I'm just locking myself in,
All right,
staying
good. Well,
there.
we're not here Monday, but we'll see you
No,
on Tuesday.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Ryan. Hey, Caitlin, why don't you tell everyone about our guests, plural?
Gladly. So yes, we have Conte Thornton and Alex Prakken here with us today. They're gearing up for a return visit to Green Room 42 to perform a Gutenberg, the musical. The two will once again be singing the tunes from this hilarious show on January 21st, less than 3 months after the original concert. Thornton made his Broadway debut in A Bronx Tale, and Prakken was touring across the country in Newsies. So people know him, people love him. They're here. Follow Bobby on social media at Bobby_Conte, Conte. And then follow Alex on only Instagram. He doesn't have a Twitter because I looked for it, at Al Prakken. And leave all of your questions in the comments down below. Please welcome Alex, Bobby, and Paul.
Hey guys, elusive. No Twitter. Okay.
I mean, I don't think I'm funny enough for Twitter, quite honestly.
Yeah. I'm about
You underestimate yourself.
Thank you so much, Bobby.
And Bobby, I just actually discovered the other Bobby Conte. How dare he?
There's another Bobby Conte.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
literally just Bobby Conte. Don't the underscore. The
He is
underscore
underscore.
important.
That's right.
I accidentally typed in the wrong one. So anyway, welcome guys. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. Are you ready for the snowstorm?
Yes.
Are you deep in rehearsal? Are you rehearsing this snowstorm?
Yeah, we'll
we
be
are.
trudged in. We know the day of our show it's supposed to be like
8
14.
degrees.
Yeah.
8 degrees.
8 degrees?
Well, I haven't
did.
checked today.
So we appreciate
Martin
anyone
Luther
that
King.
comes out. On Martin Luther King
on
Day.
Monday night at Green Room 42.
The best way to celebrate Martin Luther King Day
is
to
by
come see
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg.
a show about a German printer.
So let's sort of break this down. A lot of people know Gutenberg. Some people don't know Gutenberg. This was actually a musical, a 2-person musical that was created out of improv originally, wasn't it?
UCB.
Yeah, down at UCB, which stands for Upright Citizens Brigade. Yeah.
Well done.
So, what do you love about this show, and how did this come into your lives, and how the hell do you know each other?
So, Bobby and I went to school together at University of Michigan, and
That's a good place.
It's a pretty good.
We were also housemates too.
Yes,
You
we
know?
lived in the same
really?
house for sophomore and junior year.
How big of a house?
There were
Seven.
seven of us.
Okay.
Yes.
Came in and out.
Very loud, lots of singing in the shower.
Okay. Musical theater house.
Yeah.
All of us.
Like a
Yes.
musical theater frat.
Okay.
That doesn't even make
Yeah.
any sense. It's like an oxymoron.
But our senior year, Bobby and I were cast in this concert at the end of the semester, and we were like, we should do something at the beginning of the year. And I talked to Bobby about this really bizarre, silly show called Gutenberg a couple of times, and I was like, we should do this show. And we tried to make it happen, but timing just didn't work out. And then
Because you were a fan of the album? How
I
did you
saw the
help-
show I'm from St. Louis, and I saw two actors in St. Louis do it, and I
Okay.
was like, this is so ridiculous
Uh-huh.
but amazing.
Uh-huh.
And an opportunity came up back in March to put something together at Green Room, and Bobby and I were kind of like,
This
we're
is
doing it, aren't we?
This is the time.
Yeah. And now we're
Yeah.
back. We did it back in November.
Yeah.
And
Back by popular demand.
it's truly the most ridiculous thing that there is a financial desire to see Gutenberg multiple times in the year 2019. But we're so happy. We're so happy to be doing it.
So talk about, it's about a printing, it's about the printing. It's about isn't it about guys pitching a musical?
Correct. It's
Set it up.
it's two theater writers who are holding a backers audition
Right.
to promote to try to get their show funded, called Gutenberg the Musical, which is about Johann Gutenberg, who invented the printing press and created the Gutenberg Bible.
Right.
And it's two writers who clearly are not fully capable of taking on this task, but so earnestly believe in what they have to offer.
Right, and they believe that this show is a great piece of musical theater art. It is not.
I don't know what you're talking about. It is.
Bobby thinks it is. But what I love so much about the show is that they are so committed to this show and their dreams, and they want everyone in the audience to understand. Do you see why we did this
Right.
thing? That is why this is so smart and so good, and why you as a Broadway producer should invest in our show.
Right. Awesome. Well, what is it like doing a full musical for these like one night only moments? I mean, you guys rehearsed.
It's a lot.
I mean, he's
This is your second preview on Monday.
pretty much with months and months in between. I mean, he's known the show far longer than I have. So the first time we did it, I felt like in many moments I was pulling shit out of my caboose or whatever,
Right.
the PG version. I don't know if we're allowed to curse on this show or not.
Sure.
And so now perhaps we'll have a little bit more of our bearings underneath us. But it's amazing, especially when you're with someone that you only love and trust in life, but you can look across in their eyes and goes, I don't know what I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
There were many times when in our show back in November where, because it's a lot of work, and this show, one of the things that makes this show so crazy is that Bobby and I are playing about 12 characters each, and we have these little hats that
Right.
say our character names, and we're constantly changing hats. We're throwing hats to each other. We have 6 or 7 hats piled on top of us, and we're tossing them everywhere. So there was a lot of rehearsal that went into this, and we might have been a touch under rehearsed to get it super clean.
And now
But
we are fully
now
rehearsed.
we're perfect.
Now there will be no mistakes.
But there were many times where, when we're up there in the heat of the moment, we're like, Gutenberg, the musical.
That's right. If nothing else, just shout the word Gutenberg. If that were to happen, what's so nice is it becomes meta, because clearly these guys would be flustered as well.
Right, yeah.
I think they see it as the opportunity of a lifetime to be able to pitch their dream show to the lore of Broadway, and so if they messed up, you can watch them be flustered, and that only adds to the humor of what you're watching.
Yeah.
So it works on every level.
So do you guys perform together in school often, or
We did a decent amount
like
of
what? What
shows
kind of things did you do?
together.
I want to imagine
we
the
did,
cast.
we did Les Mis at the Muni, and we
Yes.
did it in school.
We felt so lucky. I was thinking about this. We were 20 years old when we did that. We got to play Marius and Andras at the Muni.
Oh.
Talk about from
Wait,
what you
who
were saying,
was
like
who?
open calls. He was Marius. I was
Marius was
Andras.
Andras.
Came from an open
So
call.
he's the romantic one, and you're the edgy flag waver.
He has a lovely girlfriend named Kaylin
I do.
at the prom, and I'm floating away. So that's our lives.
You single ladies.
That's a line from Gutenberg. That's a line from Gutenberg.
Ladies.
And then when we did in college, he played Andras and I played Javert.
Oh.
I was thinking of this the other day. There's for those of you who know the show, at the top of Act 2, Andres like, I need a report on the strength of the foe, and Javert goes, I can find out the truth. I know their ways, fought their wars, served my time in the days of my youth, and it's a big, I think maybe it's like an F or something like that. And during our dress rehearsal, I cracked so badly, like, in the days of my youth,
And we're like we're like this close together, and for about a week afterwards, we could not get. Bobby would turn to me and go, "I can find out the truth," and I could not look at him. It was so
to the point where it's the day before the show and we can't get through the serious moment, so we force ourselves to go backstage.
We went off stage and literally went like,
to stare.
and just stared at each other. Bobby does this a lot to me. He's like,
did it. Don't break a muscle. And funnily enough, I think we've had to do that for Gutenberg.
we've had to
as
do
well.
it many times in Gutenberg because the show is completely ridiculous, and we have to take it seriously
So it's
as
like
these
stay
two
focused.
people who think that this is a masterpiece.
Yes.
Maybe
Right.
to outside people it's so ridiculous, but it's
While he plays characters like, there's literally a character named Woman, and a character named Daughter, and a character named The
generic.
Bootblack. So when these ridiculous voices come out, you have to just go.
right out of the 24 characters in the show, 25, only 2 of them have actual names: Gutenberg and Helvetica. Everyone else is a very generic name: Monk, Young Monk,
Right.
Dead Baby.
The Gutenberg's friend.
No, it's just friend.
It's just friend of Gutenberg. I'm sorry, friend of Gutenberg.
So Bobby, you've been here before.
I have.
You were in a little musical called Bronx Tale.
Across the street from me.
This is a Bronx Tale. I just have that line in my head. This is my story. Yeah. Alex, you were in Newsies.
Yes, I was.
We had a Newsie here yesterday.
Who?
Tommy Bracco was here.
I know.
Tommy Bracco.
Yeah, we try to have a theme from guest to guest. Not true, but it just happened.
It's just nice. It's nice when it
It
happens.
just worked out this
amazing.
time.
It's part of the journey.
What was Newsies like? What were the Newsies? At what point in the run did you join the cast?
So I joined, when was that? May of 2015.
He booked the job the day of our senior showcase.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So I got the email.
So he
that
got
I
to
was-
Broadway first.
We
was
were like,
before.
oh, well,
It was
Alex
before.
is going to work forever and ever and ever. Clearly, that was what happened.
And I didn't
instantly.
work for 9 months after the tour. Anyways, yeah, I graduated, and like the day of graduation, when we were like getting our diplomas and everything, I got this email, and I was like, Newsies, like really? Because I can like.
Was it from a
dance.
Gmail account? Questionable Gmail account?
That's one of the craziest
But
things.
I like looked at it and I was like, I can dance, but I'm not like that level. But the track that I was in for was a Jack and a Davy understudy in one of the Delancey brothers, if you know the show.
Right.
And I kind of found that it happened to be what I did well, and I ended up getting the job the day of showcase, which was a Monday, and then I joined the tour the Monday after that.
Wow.
It was very fast.
Wow. What were you singing at your showcase? Santa Fe? Or you
No, no, the lady must be mad.
Oh.
It took a lot of the pressure off of showcase
I was
to
gonna
know that I
say.
had a job.
Meanwhile, you're like
I'm like,
terrified, trying. Yeah. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, Newsies was
So you were that
awesome.
kid.
I
You were the
guess
golden
so.
boy of graduation.
More or less. But Newsies
he's
was
the golden
great.
boy in all of our hearts.
Okay, shut up. It's hard. It's a hard show. It's very physically demanding. It's very vocally demanding. You know, people think a lot of the time, oh yeah, Newsies, it's so athletic and stuff. And I'm like, that tenor part is really freaking high. And I was thrown up there. It's a little higher than I usually sing, but I could do it. It just wasn't easy to do 8 times a week. So that was a huge challenge. And, you know, doing a show 8 times a week in college can't quite prepare you for that sort of thing. So it was a great time, though. Made so many friends and kicked my butt.
So you guys are both a few years into your New York Broadway adventure now. You must be very different people than you were back then when you were sharing that house. What would you tell people watching now about the reality of this world versus maybe, like, what have you really learned in the last few years? And, you know, give some wisdom to the kids.
I just talked.
You pass the hard buck to me. I think if you can find a way to stay creative and something that is within your control on a daily basis, it makes everything a whole lot easier. Because allowing, when we get to do these long shows, simply what Gutenberg was someone offered us an opportunity to have a space at this place called Greenwood, which is lovely. And Alex said, let's just do this show to make ourselves happy. We're not making money. We're not doing this, who knows where the show will take. Matt Bredman, maybe we'll all start making money doing this someday. But we're doing this simply because we adore each other. We adore being creative together, and we love this show. And so the more you can give yourself permission to do that, whether it's waking up and working on a monologue someday. Leslie Odom Jr. has this great thing in his memoir where he's like, write an email every day, work on a song every day, sit down at the piano and figure out a song. Start writing, even though it's terrifying. Do like stream of consciousness writing for 10 minutes. And then when you're given these great blessings of having something that is so consuming in your life, of doing 8 shows a week, and is going to be taxing not only your voice and your body, but also on your ability to have a personal life, you find an easier way to find an equilibrium with that.
Yeah, and going off of that, no matter how talented you are, there are going to be periods where you're in between jobs or you're looking for something new. And sometimes, that can be hard for an actor because, I love to be doing something creative at all times. And being able to, do this show with such a good friend, and it's a show that I just, enjoy doing so much, that finding those moments for creation, for finding your artistic outlet is, really important. And there's tons of opportunities to find them in New York because there's a lot of creative people here.
Correct.
Even if it's just, a couple of my friends have done plays in their apartments, and invited people over, and
then that
really
eventually
amazing.
led to
them creating their own theater group.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. This friend, someone who lived in our house, Henry Nelson, created a theater company literally out of
thin air.
Doing a play in his apartment, and now is about to go do that same play out in his hometown of Seattle.
Yeah,
wow.
If you have perseverance, if you have friends, if you create a community around you, that's the best thing. And it's truly not a competition. It's an ability to give yourself perseverance every day of what you're going to put out into this world. And hopefully, if other people are doing just as much as that, that's only going to service you to go to another level. So that's what I tell my younger
I love it.
Are you listening?
It's great advice. And the great thing about doing plays in your apartment is you don't need to secure the rights. You can do West Side Story if you want in your apartment tonight. You do it in your apartment, don't you, West Side Story?
Every day.
Yeah, I thought so. But that is great advice. And the thing that's difficult about taking time to be creative is that every time you turn on Netflix, there's a new series to binge.
Sure.
And that could just suck up your whole
You know what? That
weekend.
can be part of the thing. Is sometimes watch a show.
And watching good acting performances is research.
Right.
And
Yes.
you can learn from that. It's very important.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Everyone needs to go see the show. Hey, Caitlin, what are the people online saying?
Yes, we got some questions.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, Jenny wants to know, what was your guys' reaction when you realized that your guys were going to do a second concert of Gutenberg?
I think mine was I think mine was, wait, really? You liked it?
It's a redo. It's a redo night. You get to,
I mean, I was so freaking excited because, Gutenberg for me is, it's kind of been my baby. It's kind of been a dream of mine to do the show for so long. And the fact that, we sold very well in our first show, and the fact that there was interest in doing it again, I was like,
It's ridiculous.
really?
Yeah.
Really amazing.
And it's been one of my first things out of school was doing Forum out in Two River Theater with Chris Fitzgerald. And whenever I would text him about it, he's like, truly.
Original
is
cast
the
member.
original cast
And
member with Jeremy Shamus.
Right, yep. Mm-hmm.
I saw them do a reunion concert of it at 54 Below, maybe 2 years ago.
Right.
Unbelievable. And he says it's the stupidest, most absurd thing he's ever done, and he would leap at any chance to do it again. And I think we feel the same way.
I love it.
Cool. And let's do one more question. Mark wants to know what has been the biggest difference between approaching Gutenberg the first time and now doing it the second time.
Remembering the hack choreography. Yeah. No, I think something we talked about too. There's a moment where they start to talk about themselves and tell their story, and it's making sure that it's as they're doing it, it's in service of, if you know more information about us, that will only allow your ability to give over to the show that we have written that much more. So everything needs to be in service of Gutenberg the musical, not our own self-vanity.
And it's really interesting. With Bobby and I last week, I think we were doing a read through, and I kind of put some pieces together about my character, and I was like, he really has like something against the church. And I had never really noticed that until now, but it's so interesting because this show that is so ridiculous on the outside, you can like, it's so well written at the same time that you can put pieces together and be like, these are really full-fledged characters with so much interest, and that's reflected in the show that they've written. Stop laughing, so it's true.
We go back and forth. One of us will be profound about it, and the other one will say, "Stop it." So we take turns. And the writers are Scott Brown and Anthony King, who have Beetlejuice coming back up. So it's which we ran into each other down in DC seeing it, and I loved that show. So it feels very cool to bring this back to life.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much. So what time is it on Monday?
9:30 p.m.
9:30 p.m. on Monday night at Green Room 42, which is inside the Yotel. It's a cool space if you haven't been there.
Brilliant.
It's
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's affordable.
Yes.
It's a good thing. Check it out. Thank you so much, Alex and Bobby.
Thanks, Cole.
Good to see you. Have a nice weekend. Get
Yes.
ready. Learn your lines.
Stay warm.
Learn your hats.
Stay warm.
Working on it.
Learn all your characters. Stay warm. Hey,
know
Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live every single day on Facebook at 5 p.m. You can listen to us in a podcast form by searching for #live@5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in on Tuesday when we talk to Ashley Park of Mean Girls.